Hey everybody, welcome back to the basement. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out some new to me engines. This is an F3 AA set that I found on trains.com. That's trains with a Z. And these are going to be super awesome. And I've got some ideas for a project that I'm going to use these with, because when you see them, you're probably going to think to yourself, why did Chris buy those? But I've got some ideas and we're going to talk about it next here on Chris's Trains and Things. While we go ahead and begin opening up this box, let me go ahead and grab it here. Let's talk about Trains with a Z. So Trains with a Z is a great website if you're trying to find new or used trains. Their used trains are fantastic. They go buy collections from people and then sell those trains on their website. And so if you are looking for something that was maybe listed a while ago, like this engine set that I have here. Now this isn't something specific that I was looking for, but I needed an F3 set. And you can find it sometimes on trains. Or what you can do is you can actually create a wish list on their website, because a lot of times things will come up for sale. And you know, if you're not looking at their website every day, which most of us have jobs and can't just sit on the internet and look at trains that are for sale all day long, you would want to have that on your wish list. You'll get a notification when it comes in stock, and you can jump on there and add it to your cart before somebody else does. But this set, ooh, these look really nice. This is really tough for me, and I'll explain why in a minute. But these are the Canadian National F3 units from Lionel. These are older units, but if we look underneath, see a little bit of wear on those pickup rollers there. But you know, overall they seem to be in really good condition. So we're going to go ahead and get both these on the layout. We're going to try to fire them up and program them with the new CAV3 app. I've got my base 3 on the layout. So let's see if we can get these fired up with that base 3 app. So that is the A unit, and we have an AA pair in this. Now, why is this a little bit difficult for me? Well, last year at Trainapalooza in 2023, we were there and we were at the Browning's house, and there was a gentleman there that was selling a set of Weaver Bradley cars in Canadian National paint that would have matched these F units perfectly. I ended up buying them with the thought of buying the Canadian National Sea Liner, you know, that would have gone with it. And so I bought them, and a couple hours later I thought to myself, you know what, this might not be something that I need right now. It's going to force me to buy another engine. I don't really want to do that right now. And I was sitting there eating lunch with Joe Delude, who has some Canadian National motive power, and was looking for those cars. So I just sold them to Joe for the same price that I bought them for, and no harm, no foul. But now I found these, and these would look really, really cool with those Bradley cars. Unfortunately, I don't have them anymore. So we're gonna have to figure out why I bought these. Now, Trains with a Z, if you go on Trains with a Z, you go to trains.com/CTAT. That helps support my channel and allows us to do more videos and things like this. So I greatly appreciate those of you that utilize that code. So you can go to trains.com/CTAT and shop as much as you want. Anything you buy in perpetuity will help benefit the channel. If you have not used code CTAT as a discount code, so you go in, add something to your cart, go to checkout, under the discount code or promotional code, put CTAT, you're going to save $10 off of a purchase of $50 or more. Now, you can only use that code one time. So if you've already used it, thank you so much. There's a lot of other codes out there that I'm sure you could use too. But just by shopping at trains.com/CTAT and then doing your shopping helps us out here as well. So we greatly appreciate that. Let's get a closer look at these, and I'll talk about why I bought them. All right, everybody. So this is Canadian National F3 AA locomotive set from Lionel. This comes with a powered A unit and a non-powered A unit. And it is item number 6-34645. It does have a legacy rail sounds on board, so it does have the newest technology. You know, so one of the reasons that I got this, because I don't have Canadian National or rolling stock or anything, is because I have some other F3s that I would love to upgrade to legacy, and these afford me the opportunity to do so. So I can take the shells, swap them out with some shells for some other F3s that I have in my collection, and now I will go from TMCC F3s to legacy F3s. So we're going to pop these shells off, and we're going to do that. Now we're going to do that in this video, but it's just something a project that I have down the road. I found these on Trains for a great price. They were under $400. So obviously you're getting one powered unit, one non-powered unit. So you're really paying for the powered unit. But under $400 was a great deal to get that legacy board and get what I need. So let's go ahead and we're going to try to fire this up with the Cab 3 app. First time that I'm programming a locomotive with the Cab 3 app. So let's do that together. And then we're going to run these around the layout with some, more modern Conrail freight, because that's what I have on the layout right now. And I'll be honest, time is of the essence. I don't have enough time to swap everything out, put more rolling stock on for this video today. I appreciate you bearing with me on that. So let's go ahead and grab my backup old phone and we're gonna get this connected. So we got it on the layout and turn on the power. Smoke unit's kicked on right away. I go ahead, I set this engine here, which is the powered unit, into program. And so we're gonna go engine, and this is 902. We're gonna go 90 for now. I have another engine is 90. So let's actually not do that. Let's do 91. Hit set. There we go. So let me go ahead and put it into run. All right, so I've programmed each locomotive into my locomotive roster. And I've got them like set up and both on. Every time I hit the train button to create a train, it just gets stuck here. I don't get the numbers to add a train or to try to program one. And then usually it just ends up crashing out. So that's immensely frustrating. So what we're going to do is just run this, since this is only one powered unit and one unit that is sound, is we're just gonna run it like that. So what we're gonna do is put it in reverse, back it on up to go get some freight, and hit reverse, back to forward. And like I said before, we are not going to be running this with like F3 era freight. It's gonna be more modern stuff, so bear with me. But let's go through some of these controls, just like we'd have on our legacy remote.
Dispatcher, coupled up, air test complete. Am I clear? Over. Affirmative, the track is yours. Over. Thank you much. Cleared outbound. Out. Dispatcher here. You're cleared onto the main. Over. Thanks, dispatcher. Cleared outbound. Out.
There we go. Rolling out.
Dispatcher here, you're lined up and clear inbound. Over. Thank you, sir. Tire down, going to beans. Out.
All right, everybody. So awesome set of engines. They're going to be great donors for a project that I'm going to be working on over the next few months. So really excited about those. So thank you, Trains, for having those in stock and allowing me to grab them from your website. It is now time for viewer mail. All right, so today we have an email from Craig S. Craig has been a longtime viewer of the channel. He and I have connected a couple other times. So he writes into us and also provided the video. Thank you, Craig. So we'll show that video of his layout here as well as we're going through. So Craig says, first off, I want to say thank you for all the content that you create for your channel. I've learned a lot from your updates, reviews, instructional videos, and found them helpful with my ongoing build process. I'm now 1.5 years into my build process. Track work and wiring's mostly complete, but still working on a few minor issues. Also decided to add a standalone second level on the far side of the layout, which will begin shortly. I've been going back and forth on weathering track. I'm using Gargraves with raw switches on cork roadbed. I'm leaning towards weathering because I have a mix of new and used track, and I think the weather will make everything look uniform. I agree with you there, Craig. Do you have any suggestions or tips on track weathering? I'm going to add ballast and was wondering if that should be done before track weathering or it should be the final step after scenery around that track is complete. I have a short video of current layout status. Thanks again for all you do, Craig S. So Craig, thanks for writing in and for the video. So what I've used for track weathering, there's multiple different ways that you can go about weathering your track. You can do the Jason Stuckert way, which is finding the right mixture of airbrush paints and airbrushing your track that way. What I did was use a Rust-Oleum camo spray paint, and I do not have any on me anymore. I looked up in my garage to see if I had a can to show you here. I don't, so I'm gonna show you the picture from the website. So it's the Rust-Oleum brown camo. The camo's, it's like an ultra flat color, so you're not gonna get a lot of shine or sheen off of the track. It's gonna look just as you would see it in nature. It provides a really good coating as well. Usually it's just one coat and you're good to go. What I did was I tried to do as much of my track before I laid it down. Now, I did most of my layout and then decided to weather my track also. So I was in a very similar situation to you, Craig. So what I ended up doing was spraying it down here in the basement with a respirator on, and I would take a big piece of cardboard about 8 inches high, 2 feet long. What I would do is just set it behind the track, making sure all of my locomotives and rolling stock and anything else was well out of the way and covered up because you're going to get overspray. Held that down and would just spray across this way, and then I would have a paper towel that was already had rubbing alcohol on it, and I would just wipe the top of the rails down. The nice thing is I knew which area of the track I could see, so I only had to spray that. I didn't have to spray back the other way because no one's going to be looking at the track from the back side. So the back of this track actually is not weathered. Now, for other sections that I've did later on, I thought about the process ahead of time. I would take all the track that I was about to lay, I would take it out to my side yard, and I would spray it outside. Spray one whole side, flip it, spray the other side, and then wipe down the top of the rails again with that alcohol, rubbing alcohol on a paper towel. And that way the top of the rail was nice and clean. I'd let it sit out for about 20, 30 minutes, let it dry, and then I'd bring it down to the basement. The reasoning behind that is you're gonna get the same color on your rails and the ties themselves. Rarely are you gonna see track that's weathered and the ties look perfectly brand new. So you wanna make sure you're weathering both of those. I've seen where people don't weather their ties. I don't think it looks quite as realistic as if you do the whole thing at once. Now, I always did it before I ballasted my track, and my reasoning was sometimes you're gonna have newer ballast around old weathered track. And you can always weather your ballast by taking some diluted glue in a pipette and just dropping it around, where your ballast is. You can also mix some paint color into your diluted white glue when you're adhering the ballast to your track. So that's going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So you're going to make your mixture of white glue and water that you're going to use. You mix it with a pipette, you drop it down onto the ballast so it kind of hardens and glues it in place. Well, when you make that mixture of white glue, just add some brown acrylic paint to it. Make sure it's mixed nice together, and that's going to add some color into your ballast as well. Personally, I would glue it first and then just add some colors later on here and there if you want to add that type of detail. I did not do that. I think I did that to like one section of my track and then thought not worth all my time. So my ballast is not weathered next to my track that is, but I can always add it later on. If I were to come down here right now and have a section of track that is unweathered and have to spray paint it, the ballast is going to be the same color as the track. That's not realistic. So you don't want the ballast to be the same color. So definitely do it ahead of time. Now, what's the order of operations of scenery and then ballast? You can go either way. I've seen people that they ballast their track first and then they add their scenery around it later. I have tried to do my scenery first and then the ballast goes over top of it. I just think it's a little bit of a smoother connection because the grass would be under the ballast gets dumped on from the railroad onto that grass and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what I've tried to do as much as possible as I've gone around my layout, but there's no perfect way of doing it. It's just the method that I use. So I hope that answers your question. Krylon is another company that makes some camo colors. I've used and found a lot of luck with the Rust-Oleum, so that's the one that I try to get when I go to my big box hardware store or my local Ace hardware store. So I hope that answers your question, Craig. Thanks so much. Keep us posted, Craig, on your updates as you add onto your layout. Shoot us a new video so we can show it here at Viewer Mail. If you have a video or a question about the hobby, about something you're doing on your layout, or you just want to show off your layout to the channel here, send us an email, CTATViewerMail@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for watching this one today. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.